All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue with part 2 of the 5-1 video, and we're just moving on with our next example. So looking at this equation here, I'm going to work on the left side, and I can use an even or an odd identity right here. So I have secant x, and then that negative can come out, minus cosecant x over secant x cosecant x. I'm actually going to fix that C. Okay, and so what I can do now is I can actually separate these into two fractions. So and then I can look at what's able to be canceled out. So that cancels and that cancels. And I'm left with 1 over cosecant x minus 1 over secant x. And this is sine, and this is cosine. And that's what we wanted to prove. Okay, but again, notice every single time I'm showing every single step, I'm showing what's being crossed out. If I'm going to be able to follow every step of your proof and you're doing it differently than maybe somebody else is doing it, I need to be able to see every single step. All right, so this is our last example here. Let's go ahead and move on to our last example. So this one is a little bit longer. I have 1 over 1 plus sine x plus 1 over 1 minus sine x equals 2 plus 2 tangent squared x. I'm going to go ahead and try to make a common denominator first. So I have 1 over 1 plus sine x, 1 over 1 minus sine x, and I'm going to multiply this one by 1 plus sine x over 1 plus sine x, and 1 over 1 minus sine x, 1 minus sine x. Again, still only working on one side of the equation, so this becomes 1 minus sine x over 1 minus sine squared x plus 1 plus sine x over 1 minus sine squared x. And we can combine these into one equation here. And we can see here that my signs are going to cancel out. So now I have 1 plus 1 is 2 over 1 minus sine squared x. Well, that's the same thing as 2 over cosine squared x, or 2 secant squared x. And you might have gotten stuck here because this is simplified, but it's not that. So what we need to do now is look at our identity sheet again and see if there's something else we can use. Well, we can use 1 plus tangent x, and that's secant squared x. So that's going to be 2 times 1 plus tangent squared x. And then that becomes 2 plus 2 tangent squared x equals 2 plus 2 tangent squared x, which is what we wanted. And that's the end of this section. So that's what your homework is on, and you're just going to be practicing, verifying these identities. Make sure you're showing every single step in your homework.